Hello, my name is Y Lamb and I'm with the FPV Race League, and today we're going to be doing a review of the Walkera Runner 250. We're going to go ahead and tell you what we like about it, what we don't like about it, and the general verdict that we have. For a quick 30-second review, I would tell you that if you're on a budget, this is a great quad to start off with. It's a lot of fun to fly, it's very versatile, it has everything you need. But for a competitive, hardcore racing quad, this is probably not going to be your first choice, or you might want to upgrade very soon after. And we'll go through the reasons why. Before we get into the review, I just want to take a moment to talk about the case that it comes in. If you're on a budget and you don't want to buy a case for it right away, this is actually a good case right here. So once you get it, if you keep it in good shape, you can just use this as a travel case. It fits everything you need, and if you want to get creative in there, you can fit a few extra propellers and batteries, but there's more than enough protection to make this a good travel case, and it's also a very good size and a nice sturdy handle. So a travel case isn't something that you'll need right away if you just want to use the stock box that it comes with. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the quad. So before we start the review, and we're going to tell you the good and the bad as we go through the quad, I just want to let you know that this is actually the same Runner 250 that we did our unboxing on. And you'll notice that there's going to be some bumps and dings and damages with it because we're a racing league, we let people try it out, and we fly them pretty hard, and we try to get them near obstacles and challenges and gates. So definitely going to be some damage to it, but it's held up really well. So let's go ahead and take a look. Keep in mind that this review is from the perspective of us using it as a racing quad. A lot of people will buy this just as a hobby quad or something fun to fly. So just keep that in mind, that some of the criticisms might not pertain to what you want to use it for. So going to the front of the quad, one of the things that we like, and it's good for learning actually, is that when you first start out, you go ahead and keep the camera centered straight, and what you'll see is that as you're flying, you'll have the nose down more, and once you get used to that and you get used to the perspective of seeing the ground more and you start flying faster, you can start angling this up. So once you start angling this up like this, when you're flying really aggressively, you'll be able to see more of the area in front of you instead of looking at the ground. But when you come and you actually hover, you're going to have a very tough time seeing the ground. So there's a trade-off there, and you can easily adjust this to your liking. So it's actually a very nice feature to have built in, and it's very easy to adjust. Really cool. One of the things that you probably will notice right away is that we actually cracked this LED light, and we did that running into a tree. And you'll notice that it's quite a hard hit, but the LED light is actually still working. And it also took out the antenna holder right here. So before, we actually had an antenna holder that would hold the antennas out. When we crashed it, it actually ripped right off. So that was actually a lessons learned right there. If you're going to be flying near objects, go ahead and just zip tie that down, or just reinforce it so that put a flag on it or something, so that if you do lose it, you can actually go and find it again. If you look at the bottom here, you can tell that these are actually soldered on into this blade. So in order to replace this cracked light, we'd actually have to replace a larger component. That's why we haven't replaced it yet. That and the fact that it's still working and it really doesn't bother us. But in general, we would like to see more protection up front here, so that when you hit something, the camera and the lights are more protected. So that is one of the criticisms that I would have if you're going to be flying around a lot of obstacles and stuff. Moving to the motors and the propellers, have no issues with the motors. The motors have been really good. The propellers are actually really tough. We've crashed this a few times, and we really don't see much bending and breaking unless we hit into a hard object like a tree or a post or something like that. The landing legs, I thought these were going to be the first things that were going to break, but they have been very sturdy. They're made of a really good plastic, and we haven't really had any issues with them. And I have actually kind of really liked having it off the grass this much, so it makes it easy to fly off tall grass. So it's been really sturdy and really good. Now, this mount right here is meant to install an HD camera. So I have a Mobius right here. So you can just mount a Mobius right here. The only issue with that is that what you'll see is when you mount something like a Mobius, it's actually bigger than the mount itself. And since the transmitter is right here, you really can't go too far back, and you really want a little gap so that it can move freely up here. It's nice and tall off the ground, off the quad, so that you don't catch too much of the propellers, but really it isn't big enough to fit something like a Mobius. And if you use something like a GoPro, it's going to be a very large mass up on top. Other than that, the other gripe that I have is that if you use something like a Mobius, what you generally have is like a piece of Velcro over the top, and then you stick to it, and then you'll have a strap around it. But down in here, if you take a look all the way down through here, this is where you actually change the channel on your video. So you have 8 channels that you can change on this quad. If you were to put a Mobius and Velcro on here and you needed to change the channel because you're flying with somebody else and you don't want to interfere with their flying, you're gonna have to take this whole thing off, and then you're gonna have to use a very small and refined tool to be able to hit those dip switches. This is actually one of the most annoying things to do if you're racing with other people, or if you're just flying with other people, is that you have to get underneath here to change the channels on the video. It's very annoying. The transmitter, haven't had any issues. The video that comes through it's been really good. This has been really durable. We haven't really had any issues with video, so overall really great. We flew quite a bit with the Mobius put on just like this, except with a strap over it. Haven't had much trouble, so been good overall. Haven't had any issues. One of the things that you'll notice if you zoom in right here is that you'll notice the main board is actually a little bit bent, and well, that's due to a lot of crashes that we've been putting it through. Like I said, we're a race league, so when we're out there, we do fly it hard and we fly it low to the ground, and it's going to crash. And we have let a lot of people fly it, so a lot of people have crashed it, and I've crashed it a few times myself. So what I've said in the initial video, and you can kind of see right here, is that the boards right here, they could be thicker, especially for racing. And if you know you're going to be flying always near objects, this could be a thicker board. So eventually you're going to hit something that's going to crack this board, and it's going to break. So that is a worry for somebody who's really wanting to use this for racing. It's probably not the quad for you if you want to race and you want to actually fly through hard objects. It's just not going to be durable enough for you. But if you just want to have fun, race around, definitely a good quad. It's been very maneuverable, very fun. Moving to the back taillights have been great. They're easy to see. We haven't had any issues with the T60 connectors. The only thing I would say for the tray down here is that it's actually a very slippery surface. So you'll notice that we actually put some rubber mats down there to help keep the battery in one spot, and we even have some Velcro back here, and we put Velcro on the batteries to try to keep the battery in one place. A nice feature that you'll see is that once you get low on battery life, you know, your battery's draining down, the red lights in black will actually blink. So that's another indication that you're running low on battery. It's much better, of course, if you just monitor it on your OSD, your on-screen display, so that you know when to come down. Overall, really good design. The self-tightening propellers, though, when you crash hard, they're going to over-tighten, so that if you actually break a propeller, sometimes it's really hard to take a propeller off. We actually had to replace the ESC on one of these motors. I think it's this back one right here, and I can tell you that the ESCs and the motors back here, they're really easy to replace. Really, all you have to do is just unplug, remove some screws, and then put in a new one and put the motor back on. Very easy to replace. This is probably the one of the easiest designs to be able to replace an ESC in a motor. They did a really good job on that. so that, you know, over time as you fly it, you're going to eventually break the ESC in the motor just from wear and tear, normal wear and tear. So replacing these two parts, very easy to do, and not an issue at all. But overall, it's a good racing quad. We don't really have any issues with it in terms of it flying. We generally use small batteries with it, but you can use the larger stock batteries to fly for a longer period of time. One last thing that I do want to cover is the controller. There's actually 3 flight modes. There's the beginner, there's the intermediate, and then there's like freestyle or manual. You want to stay away from the frontmost one because this will actually allow you to do flips, both rolls and for pitch. So it'll allow you to do a barrel roll, or it'll allow you to do loops. If you're an inexperienced flyer, you definitely want this switch going away from you, so in the back, so that it won't actually do that. We've seen a lot of people complain that they'll get this and they don't know about this switch, and it'll be up front, and then all of a sudden your quad will do a flip and then fall out of the sky. If you fall onto something like concrete, it'll definitely do damage and it'll definitely break things. So definitely fly near grass if you're going to try to learn how to flip this quad. Like I said, overall, really good quad for the money. The only thing I would say is that if you're going to be flying near obstacles, probably not the first choice for you. But other than that, really good quad. We're going to continue to sell it and support it, and we really like it. So one last thing we want to cover is the charging system that comes with the Walkera. This is it. As you can tell, we've never used it because we wouldn't want to use it because it's just way too slow. So I just want to give a affordable alternative to this charging system. There is no one best charging system. All of them do slightly different things. Some of them do things better. Some of them work exclusively in AC. Some of them work exclusively in DC, and then you can buy a converter for them. So this is actually just a good blend of everything, and it's affordable. So that's why I'm gonna take a moment to let you see it. So here it is. This is the B6 AC, so it already can do AC. So you can just plug it into your wall at home. Just open it up and take a look. So as you can see, it's a significant upgrade to the charging system that you get with the Walkera. So as I said before, you can take AC or you can do DC. So this will work for your car, or this can work for your home. The type that you want to buy, you want to make sure it comes with a XT60 connector with banana plugs. So you come over here, red on red, black on black, and then you can plug this into your battery, and then your balance plugs will come into here, and then your AC power supply will come through here. And this will be able to charge your batteries very quickly. Generally, we charge at 2C, which is twice the speed of the battery in terms of amps. But just to let you know, very good charger, good upgrade for about $60. This is not a review of this unit, but if you're looking for something that is better, this is what I would recommend. So that was our review of the Walkera Runner 250. If you have any questions, please leave in the comments below. Otherwise, have a nice day.
Good.